All righty. Okay. Hey, everybody. Coffee talk with me and Sala. Sala and I.
Hi, everybody.
I got Mr. Eyre behind us. Brad, fix us up. Okay, so today is October the 6th, 2018, and we're still in the first week of October. Last week we were finishing up the month, and if you remember, Sala was here with me, and it's a much different feeling tonight.
It is.
As it was last night, last week. So I thought, what better person to come on here and talk to us about her story and what's happened with her in the last year, and just give you guys some hope, give you guys some. I always think if someone else can do it, then I can do it. And that's when I go to seminar and I see people on stage that are higher than me, I'm like, if she can do it, I could do it. And Mary Kay Ash used to say, this is when we all wore pantyhose. She used to say, every woman puts her pantyhose on one leg at a time. Even the top person in Mary Kay can't jump in her pantyhose. So what that means is that everybody in Mary Kay, if someone has done it, then you can do it. And even if someone hasn't done it, you may be that person that could break a record in Mary Kay. And so like I talked to y'all last week about the girl from Canada that broke all those records in Canada, like 8 records in the country of Canada. So before we interview Sala, I just want to go over a couple things with you. First of all, October is double credit month. And so I know you've probably heard from me or your sales director about what that means, but just briefly, I'm going to tell you again, because I think once you really understand it, you'll know why it's so important to have a great, great October. So let's talk about recruiting. The court of sharing, normally it's 24 people to be in the court of sharing with Mary Kay, where you win the beautiful bumblebee pin. It's 12 to be in the Princess Court. So like for Go Give, which all of us are in, if you have at least 12 qualified, you get to go to the reception at career conference. If you're a director, of course, you're on target with 12. So what that means is anyone that signs up this month under you, instead of counting as one person, is going to count as 2. If she becomes qualified, she can order 600 this month and be qualified automatically, or she can do a 600 total in her first 4 months in the business. So it'd be from now to the end of January if she orders at least 600. So if it maxes out at 6. So if you got 6 agreements in and all 6 end up doing at least a $600 order in the next 4 months, that's going to count how many people for you, Sala? 12. That's right. She's like, I'm thinking about what I'm thinking to say. 12. So 12 people. So you want to try to get 6 people. Actually, it'd be better to try to get like 10, of course. But if you've got at least 6 agreements, then it'll give you the opportunity to have 12, which is half of your court done. Some of you guys took advantage of this in July. I know I did. And so that really helped me in July to have some qualified team members. Okay, so for sales, it is 2,000 wholesale. Normally 2,000 wholesale would be 4,000 retail, right? We buy it, we sell it for $1, we buy it for 50 cents, okay? So if you order at least 2,000 wholesale, normally that's 4,000 toward the National Court of Sales, which is 40,000, which is 10%, okay? All right, so if you do that this month, it's going to count $8,000 towards that 40,000, which is 20% of the whole court done in 1 month. That's awesome. That is awesome. The Princess Court is only 20,000, so you'd have 8,000 in toward the Princess Court. Well, that would get you in all the Go Give reception and all the special treatment there. And last year, they surprised us and actually had a Princess Court of Sales, and Sala was the consultant at the time. And, Lindy Blair was a new director. She got to do it and got to go on stage.
Yeah.
Right. How was that?
That was awesome.
I mean, it was fun. Yeah. In your evening gown, instead of just sitting in a chair all night, you actually get to go on stage. Let somebody see that pretty dress you bought, right? So if you want to max out your double credit, you go for 6 new agreements and 2,000 wholesale. That's selling $500 a week. So it's not like, I'm not saying go out there and try to sell $4,000 every week, which would be awesome. But even just $500 a week, which would be really one good party. Would you agree? One good party. Of course, people are doing these chemo packages. People are, working on holiday sales and things like that too. So, but that's your goal. Now, the other thing that's going to help is all of you are part of a team, and you're in a unit. And so every unit in Mary Kay also has goals to be in. The first one is called a Unit Circle of Achievement, and that is a $300,000 unit club. So everything that a director does this month is also doubled. So that maxes out at $20,000. So in other words, if you did a $20,000 wholesale with your unit, that would normally be $40,000, which is awesome. But what about having it be $80,000?
Wow, that's a lot.
That's awesome, right? So that is a lot toward the circle of achievement. And especially like for our unit, we're going for $1 million. We need to bust it out this month with that. That's really going to help us catch up a little bit on our goal. So you're going to help your unit, you're going to help yourself, and of course the opportunity, you're going to change 6 women's lives, and the products, you're going to change their face. So it's a win-win for everybody. So if you thought about taking a break in October, let's don't do that. Let's don't take a break in October. Let's say, you know what, October, I'm going to work more than I ever have. And now some of you may already say, well, it looks like I already messed up on that goal because I already took a break the 1st to the 6th, but that's okay because it's over. We can't change the past, but we can change the future. Okay. So someone's confused on the call because they're from Fitzgerald. They're calling our phone number. So Janet Holloway, if you're on here, you may want to text your people and say, don't call the phone number. Call the call the boss babe number. But anyway, it happens every time. Don't worry. The other thing I want to tell you is the new starter kit for new consultants. All these 6 people that you're going to sign up, they're going to get 2 masks free. They're going to get the charcoal mask free and the Revealing Radiance facial mask. That thing is so long. Anyway, those 2 masks, you're going to get free. So that's a bonus for them. And then Party Like a Pro. Mine isn't in yet, but they have a new necklace, and it's going to be in between the lengths of this long key and the short key, and it just goes right here in the middle, and it has a little dangle key that looks like this one. And so I posted a picture on the Boxer group. It's so pretty. So that's a $600 order, which all the boss babes will get. I know, and I'm so proud. We had a star night. There was a ton of winners in that. So proud. Okay, so the last thing I want to tell you is the fall retreats. On the fall retreats, you know, those that show up go up, and I've been seeing them posted. So wherever you are, there is a fall retreat near you. And so I want to tell you that it's important that you plug into your fall retreat in your area. The one for us in this area, we're going to Brunswick, Georgia, Waverly, just about 2 hours away. There's some down in Florida. I know that there's some up where Jana lives, and, you know, over there where Valerie lives as well. So I know people are plugging into different ones. So make sure you ask your director, where's our fall retreat, and then go, okay? And if you can't go to hers, ask her to find you one near you, because I think that's going to really help us, just like seminar helped us in the summer, career conference in the spring, directors go to leadership, which, by the way, all DIQs can go with us, and it's in San Diego, one of my favorite cities. It's absolutely beautiful. We're going to have so much fun. And so we want lots of DIQs with us. Okay, and the last thing I want to tell you before we get going is Valerie Otterness is the director from California. And normally, Valerie, I would unmute you, but I can't do that tonight, so I'm just going to have to announce it for you. But she did the drawing for last week of everybody that posted on the Boxer group. And Pam Wagner, whoop, whoop, from Tipton, Georgia, brand new red jacket, won the gift. And Valerie has already put that in the mail to you, so you'll be getting it in a couple of days. This week, Rosie Kane is going to do our drawing, and I will let you know what to post after our call. Okay? So without any further ado, we're going to turn it over to Sala. And so what Sala's going to do is share with you a couple of things that really this last year of what's been going on. She's been in Mary Kay over 20 years, and she had been a director before, and she can talk about that if she wants to, but she's going to tell what happened this year to make her have her turnaround year, and now she is a brand new sales director, 6 days old, just got her unit number. So Sala, we'll just turn it over to you, and thank you for being my guest speaker on me, Cleta, and Sala Show.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sala, and I will have been in Mary Kay 23 years this November. So, yeah, it has been an awesome journey. Like Cleta said, I was a sales director. I became a sales director January 1st of 2015, and 17 days to the day that after I became a sales director, I also became completely responsible for my mother, who has Alzheimer's, and she lives in I live in Georgia. She lived in Florida. I wound up moving to Florida to take care of her for 3 years. And really just I hung on to my unit as long as I could, and stepped down as a sales director in March of this year. And really what happened is this time last year in October, I was with some friends, and I stepped off on the sidewalk and broke my foot. And that really was a and really not really understanding situations until you have gone through them. And I had been in Florida with my mom, and then we had come back to Valdosta. We were living in Valdosta. I broke my foot, was unable to walk on my foot 4 months. And then in that February, I really was just wrestling with my business, my family life, I just had a lot going on. And in February, what I started, I just asked the Lord to just speak to me. And I felt like he was saying, you need to be in my word more. So in February of this year, what I did, I would get up every day because I felt like I was under so much pressure. I didn't want to have a special devotion that I felt like I just had to do, or I wasn't accomplishing. I didn't want to put any more pressure on myself. And so I just got up in the mornings, and I would take my Bible and flip it over and just open it, Bible bingo, as some people say, and just point to a scripture. And I had a little spiral notebook, just like these 31 declarations that you can speak over your life. And it was just, affirmations that are in the word. And it's about 15 minutes. I'll share the link with Cleta and she can give it to you guys. But I would listen to it every day. I would write in my notebook from the Bible, because his word is power. And I would listen to that recording. And it slowly began to transform me. In February and March, I just felt like I wasn't living my truth. And I just could not get out from under where I was. I don't know if that would make sense to anybody, but it's how I felt. And so I stepped down from my directorship and really did not know if I would go back into directorship. I just knew I needed to take care of myself for a little bit. And so that's what I did in March. And along in April, my daughter called me and said, Mom, I want to run a half marathon in September in Chicago, and I don't have a girlfriend that can go with me. Would you like to go with me? And I called her back and I said, you know what, Sala Elizabeth, I not only would like to go with you, but I am going to participate. Now, this is one of the lessons that I will share with you, that I would tell you to don't just talk about it, be about it. Because I've been a walker for most of my life. My father is a runner. He's 81 and runs 4 to 5 times a week, 4 to 5 miles a day. And I had prayed that God would give me some magical ability to be able to run like the wind, but I never really felt that. I just would walk. And I had even been in one of Cleta's meetings a few weeks prior. We had these roundtable discussions where we were setting goals. And I said, one of my goals is to run a half marathon one day, but I really had no date, no anything set. And then my daughter called me a few weeks later. And when she called me, I just said, I'm in, I'm doing it. I'm going to run this marathon. And so I was reading my Bible, I was listening to the recording, and I started training for the half marathon. I had broken my foot in October and wasn't really able to walk on my foot until March or April without it just killing me. But I started training. My whole family said I was crazy. But I didn't care. I just said, we had a little schedule, which there was some variety in the schedule. Like you run 1 mile, 2 miles, 1 mile, which I love that variety. I don't like the same. And so the variety of the schedule helped me. And it also helped me in my Mary Kay business, because I thought, you know what? I need some variety. I don't need pressure on myself to do the same thing over and over. You can do a few faces, you can talk to people about Mary Kay, you can get a few names, and it can be a lot of fun. And so I started training, and I had taught, I was telling myself crazy things like we all do. And they came out with a great 8 program. And I told Cleta, I said, oh, I want to get 8 plus a whole lot more before I go into DIQ, because I was operating in fear. And I finally decided that God was big enough to help me with the 8 people that I had. That's what I had. And if I wanted to go into DIQ, I needed to do that. And so I decided to go into DIQ. And really, I worked. My mom was in an assisted living at the time, and still had full responsibility for her daily responsibility. And I was working, but I decided I was going to work and not worry. And that, the word tells us the Lord will do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think. And I was talking to him, and I felt led to go back into DIQ, but I knew I wanted just to really let his light shine through me. And so I was training for the marathon, and getting stronger through that. And I started saying to myself every day, and to our team, that we are getting stronger every day, because what you talk about, you bring about. And I would say we're getting stronger every day. We're, we've got explosive growth. And, I really believe that. I believe that we were going to get stronger every day. That first month, we went through DIQ. I honestly did not know where the production was coming from. I closed out every month-end night with Cleta in this office. And I came over here the first night, and slowly that night, the one order came in, but I had done the work. I had not been sitting around eating bonbons and laying out by the pool. I had been working, and I had been contacting people, but I just didn't have a plan to know where it was coming from. And really, I had the attitude that I had done the work, and the Lord was responsible for the harvest. That's what his word says. And so I would, I was not going to worry. I was not going to freak out. I was not going to get stressed out. And so we went through month 1. We went through month 2. That was, went to seminar in July. And then we came back, and we had an emergency with my mom, and had to bring her home to my house. And now she's living with me again, full time, 3rd month DIQ. She comes to live with us. And so I did not finish the 3rd month. We went into the 4th month, which meant I had the marathon the 4th month of DIQ. And, but I went and did and because my mom had come to live with me, I had not trained for the marathon for the last 6 weeks, but I had trained the 3 months prior. And so that variety in the schedule, and being consistent in training, just like in our work, if we will work, even if it's a little bit, even if it's a little bit along the way, it helps so much in the end. It gives us confidence. It gives us strength. At least for me, it did. And so this month, Cleta went on the top director trip and was gone 10 days. I had the marathon. And that is one thing about the marathon. And one thing I wanted to share is when my daughter called and asked me to do the marathon, I did not sit there and try to figure out how I was going to get away, how I was going to pay for, 4 or 5 days in Chicago, what it was going to do to my business. I thought I'd be finished with directorship. Had I known I'd still be in directorship, that would have been another whole thing. But, that is not, I really prayed in the beginning of directorship and asked the Lord about the specifics of my DIQ. And he said that I just felt like he was telling me that was not my problem, that he is I'm supposed to do the work, and let him figure out how it's all going to play out, because as we know, things always happen differently than even if we've sat and made a perfect plan, it does not go that way. And so we finished the marathon. We came back, we finished DIQ. And I am just excited. I want to publicly thank you, Cleta, and our team, because really this is not about me, but about the people that have helped me and encouraged me, and all of you for just helping us get through it. And I can tell you this, that once you decide that what you're going to do, like I had told myself that I did not care if it was how I got across the finish line, both running and with my DIQ. If I had to crawl, if I had to go across the line in the paddy wagon, I was going to do it no matter what. And once you determine that that's what you're going to do, things start falling into place. So
I love it. I love it. Okay, so let me scoot over here a little bit. So good, Sala. Oh my gosh. She's amazing. Isn't amazing? Isn't Sala amazing, you guys? Y'all give a little raise up for Sala. I want to say, and I wish I could see everybody's comments on here, and you guys can maybe just comment on Voxel or something for Sala. But what I took out of this, of course, work, not worry. I think that's one of the key things that you said. And also that if you're putting in the time and the effort, that the Lord is going to bless your efforts. It's when you haven't done anything and then you're at the end of the month praying for a miracle. That's not how it works. Right. And we've all done that. We've all done nothing and expect something. And I had a consultant text me this week, maybe on here. I won't mention her name, but she said, one thing, she had went to the Star Night. She said, and she didn't really get recognized for anything. She said, but I figured this out. When I do something, I always get something. Right. I win something. And when I do nothing, she goes, that's exactly what I win. And she said, I'm fixing to change that. And she felt shame that she wasn't up there, which I never want anybody to feel shame, but I really rather feel inspired, because there's always going to be times you attend something and you don't win. And but part of a team is clapping for the person up there, because when it's your time in the spotlight, you want someone to be there, because, if there's nobody there, it's all about the relationships. And so I applaud you guys that go to events when you're not the shining star, when you're not the queen, when you had a 0 week and you just have not done anything, because what it shows, that you're willing to make some changes. And it takes courage to show up when you've had to take a step back. And I want to say this about Sala. It's been real easy for Sala to shrink back, not go to the meetings, and just fizzle out into like the space, and we don't even see her because of pride of, I'm not a director anymore, and I don't want to show up in this red jacket or whatever else. But she didn't do that. And I want to thank you for that, because by you wearing that red jacket and coming to the meeting, it elevated the position for our whole unit. And you see what's happened with Ann Peoples going to team leader, with Pam going to red jacket. Other people are coming on up, and like Joanna Griffin seems to be in her red jacket, like probably this week. It elevated it. And so thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. And it's just the fact that you decided to come on back, even though you would, had all those obstacles before, not thinking, because a lot of people, Sean Key talks about this, like when you say, well, tell us your story, they always tell their sad story, or maybe what they did in the past 6 years ago and now they're not. Right. It would be like me telling y'all about all the directors I used to have and go through that whole story again every time. But that's not your story. The story is today's story. Right. So whatever you've done in the past, maybe you did great things in the past and today is not so great. Well, just know that if you did it before, you can do it again. And but let's live in the present, just like you said about being authentic. And you talked about that you didn't feel like you were living the truth,
right.
the truth. And so she said, I would rather go back in. And I remember the day she went back in DIQ. She said, do you think this is the right thing to do? I said, yes. I'm like, yes, because our plan was her to be done by seminar, the debut on stage. But you know what? That's okay, because what do we say about that? God's delay is not God's denial.
Right.
And for whatever reason, you know, it took her another month. And you know what? There's probably some people recruited in September that you never would have recruited had you already been done.
Right.
Right?
That's
I can
right.
think of a few like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's always a reason. And it maybe also gave you that where your first month as a sales director, you wouldn't be taking off half the month going to run. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like this month, double credit. I mean,
perfect.
It's your very first month as a sales director, and you got every promotion available to like kick it off. You know, she also ended up on target for her car, and I want to talk about that in a minute because on this Voxer group, I just don't believe there's enough people going for their car. And you may think, you know, I just don't. Directorship is not something that I really want. I want to have a great business with a lot of consultants, maybe on my team, and a lot of customers, but I don't really want to be a sales director. Okay. This might needs to be muted right here, and that's okay because the thing about it is, it's not for everybody. Hang on just a moment. Okay, I think we got them. Okay, it's not for everybody. We need people in our unit too. And Mary Kay Ash used to say, not everybody is cut out to be a sales director, but every single woman drives a car. And why shouldn't they drive free?
Right.
And so she used to say, I am giving y'all a car. I don't understand why more people don't win the car. And that's what she used to say all the time. And so I want y'all to know that like you may have a goal to win the car. And I'll be honest with you, back in when I became a sales director, my goal was not directorship at first. It was to win a car because I really needed it. I needed a car. A car was like something I could go outside and crank. You know, like directorship is like you're a sales director. Now what? But a car is like in your driveway.
Right.
And people are like, oh, you want a car, which, you know, is pretty exciting. So she's on target for a car. And I want to see you finish that car and then move up the ranks on the different cars, you know. And I want to encourage some of you consultants to get on target for your car. It's 5 people and 5,000 wholesale. And your wholesale counts toward that. And then you have to finish out with a total of 16 active team members and 23,000 wholesale. So the thing about that is now with Sala doing it during your qualification, it's going to make your unit stronger because that's just your personal team members.
Right.
So you're going to get paid double on that. Do you know that as a sales director, instead of getting paid 13% on your personal team members, you get paid 26% because they're in your unit, and you get paid on your own order.
Yes.
So you do your 2,000, like to be on target, you're going to get 13% of that back.
Oh, that's neat.
I know. Isn't that awesome? And if you put it on your Mary Kay Chase Visa card, you get 3% cash back. I just said that because today I have like 15,000 points on my Chase Rewards card because I use it to pay it off every month. So I had $150. So anyway, pretty awesome. Well, thank you, Sala. I do like also the consistency in training. Has she gone out there the first day and tried to run 5 miles? She would have probably quit running because she would have been cramped up. Her body wasn't ready for it. And she went from 0 to full speed. And what she did instead is she took it step by step and she followed a plan. So some of you, I want you to know that you can do big things. But if you've never gotten a recruit to think you might sign 10 tomorrow, now I'm not saying it can't be done, but you know what? Why don't we just get 1 tomorrow? That's all I'm saying. Sometimes I think we set it so huge that it freezes us. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get 15 people. I gotta get 15 people. No, you don't.
Just 1.
You gotta get 1.
Right.
And then after that, you need 1 more. And so I had a national director told me that before she became a national that people would say, how many more directors you need? They ask her this all the time. And finally, she said that she learned that you're supposed to just say, oh, I just need 1 more.
Yeah. And
they're like, wow, they don't even know you. They're like Facebook friends, right? And they don't even know you. And you just need 1. They go, oh, it's great. Yeah. And then after that, I just need 1 more. And then 1 more. It's just the next one. So how many bookings do you need this week? You just need 1 more.
Right.
That's it. And after that, you just do another one. Mm-hmm. And so, y'all, let's make it fun. Let's make it easy. And like you say, take that pressure off yourself by, I mean, what do you think that key of taking that pressure off yourself? You talked about not, well, like one of the things, like with her devotional, instead of saying, I've got to go to this particular book every single day, and that, instead she said, okay, I'm going to open the Bible and read, and I'm going to listen to this declaration every single day.
Yeah.
And
because every word in the Bible is
it's true. A good word.
Yeah.
It's a good word, every single bit of it. So I love it. And we'll share the link for her declarations. And just so you understand, it is like a 15-minute video with words, but he says it as the words are scrolling. And so, like, as he's saying it, she had time to repeat it out loud. And something about say it out loud, right, Sala?
Yeah, I started out listening to it every night before I went to bed. And then as I started training, I would listen to it as I was training. And sometimes I listen to it a few times a day. And it's just awesome. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. So I think the thing is what you put in your mind.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of us will get up in the morning and we say, oh, I can't book anybody. Nobody on my team is ordering. I can't find any new recruits. Everybody in us is wearing another brand. Nobody will come to the meeting. That's 4 negative affirmations. You said before your foot even hits the floor. So I really believe the key is saying what you want.
Right.
And like what the Bible says, when you purpose in your heart, what you're going to get. And that's why, like, you know, you have, like, we're talking about our $1 million goal all year long. And I'm not going to shrink back and go, we're going to do 900,000 because, I mean, that is really not the goal.
Right.
Now, I could say what we're on target for is not the million, but that doesn't matter because that's what we're going to do, the million. Right. And we're going to focus on what we want instead of what we don't want. Right. So, you know, it's kind of what they say, playing to thrive, not survive, and playing to win, not playing not to lose. When you're playing not to lose, then you're never going to feel like a winner.
Right.
You're just going to feel like you didn't lose. And that's not a winning feeling, is it? So I'm going to come around on this side of the table. And I don't even know what is happening there. All right, okay. Well, we paused the recording just for a minute because I wanted everybody to be able to affirm Sala. Not that I didn't want that on recording, but I knew it was going to be a little confusing. I'm doing this tonight Zoom with my phone. There's a new way on Zoom you can actually go Facebook Live. And I don't know if I have to pay more for it, but I'm going to work on all this technology. Y'all know we can do it, you know. And so thank y'all for being patient with us tonight. But Sala, you did a great job, and I'm very inspiring to everybody. And so you guys, what I would like to do is just encourage you to step up to your greatness and to find the leader inside you, whether you're a leader of one person and you're just a senior consultant, or not just, but you're a senior consultant that inspired one girl, or whether you're a leader of a small team, which would be like a red jacket, which you have 3 people on your team, whether you step up and say, you know what, I can do 5 people. I can be an inspiration to 5 people. I can help those 5 people all be a senior consultant. And our focus this year is building teams of teams. And that's exactly what a sales director is a girl that has teams of teams. Sala is on my team. I recruited Sala. And then Sala has people that she's recruited that have teams and peoples. And Tiffany Huff had a team member. And several of her people have gotten team members. And so that's how you become a sales director, really. And sometimes you can become a sales director and you recruit every single one of them. But what happens is that all the, not pressure, but all the responsibility of recruiting is on you. And that's not how it was designed to be. Mary Kay never designed it to be that way. She designed it to be where the director she is inspiring the whole unit, but really inspiring the leaders in her unit to inspire their leaders on their teams. And so it's going to be a lot more fun that way. You guys just watch and see. So I want to inspire all of you to just work on, you know, getting your one little team member. And don't think everybody's going to tell you no, that's just up here. Because honestly, if everybody told you no, she wouldn't be a director.
Right.
There are people that will say yes. So it's hard because you just want to say, they're not going to listen to me. Negative affirmation, negative affirmation, negative affirmation. So that's even a double negative. There's not affirmation is not negative. So it's a negative declaration, I guess. But anyway, we want positive affirmations for all of you. And so let's change our thinking, which will, in tune, it'll change the way you behave in your Mary Kay business, right?
Right.
So what I'd like you to do is jump on the Voxer group. Rosie is going to, she's going to draw from tonight. Rosie, you might give, I'm going to put the recording on here in just a few minutes, but we'll wait till maybe tomorrow, Rosie, and you just keep a list, and then next Sunday you can let us know who the winner is, and we'll be sending you a little prize. And so if you're in Janet Holloway's unit, I want you to text her the word Sala. That's all you have to say. And then we'll know that you were on the call, because I know she's doing a special drawing for anyone that was in her unit that called in. And I will say, Janet, you had a couple people call me, so they might be confused on the instructions. But that's okay. We'll get it done. But those of you that are listening to this or want to be in the drawing on the Voxer group, I want you just to text back on Voxer just put, this is what I want you to put I declare in something positive that you're going to do this week with Mary Kay. Is that good?
That's good.
A declaration.
Right.
It can be short. It can be long. Okay. I don't care. I declare. I don't care. So that's what I want you to do. And then we'll be back next Sunday. And I'm just going to declare that we're going to have some new reds and some new senior consultants, and possibly someone that's already on target for their car by the middle of the month. Would that be exciting? Okay, you guys have a great time, a great week, and thank y'all for calling in tonight live with Sala and Cleta. Okay, let's see. We'll just stop this recording.